All right, guys, how's it going? I am super excited today to be trying for the first time ever these reusable canning lids from HarvestGuard. Back a couple months ago when canning lids were extremely hard to find, we were on HarvestGuard's website and found that they had these. So we ordered them, and shortly after we ordered them, we started finding canning lids again. And I know a lot of people are still having canning lids, having trouble finding canning lids. So we haven't used these yet because we've had the other normal lids and we've stayed within our comfort zone. So today I am going to go through their instructions on how to use these. The system seems to be pretty straightforward how to use. It comes with this rubber gasket, the plastic lid, and then you would use your normal metal bands. Now, what we're canning today is not important. We're canning potatoes. Jenny found I think she got a deal on some potatoes, so we bought a bunch. I'm gonna can them up. We're not doing a canning potatoes video here. We're just gonna show you the use of the lids, what to do, how to check on things, and follow HarvestGuard's instructions. And from what I have seen from other people, I've heard no complaints about these lids whatsoever. We posted on our Instagram yesterday and Facebook that we'd be using these today, and all the comments seem to be very positive about them. One of the biggest things I seem to be taking away from what people are saying is how much you tighten the metal band is super important. If you over tighten it, you're done. A lot of times the metal lids can be really forgiving in this area, but not these ones. One of the biggest things I keep getting as a takeaway about these this system is you do not want to over tighten the metal band that goes on. You'd put this on. One of the tips and tricks I saw was to do this. Put one finger here, and when the jar spins, the band is plenty tight before putting it in the canner. Now stay tuned, there's more steps to do after this as well. If you over tighten the lids, what I've seen in some videos and what other people have told me is this part that is supposed to get sucked down in will actually form a dome, and every instance I've seen of that happening, when it cools and it goes back down, it does not form a seal, and you can easily pick it back up, pick it off there after it cools. What they're saying behind that is at the rate this cools and the rate this needs to be sucked down, it's not in sync. So if you have a dome, if you end up doming it from over tightening this band, you can 99% sure you are not going to have a good seal. All right, guys, I've done exactly what HarvestGuard has recommended. I have cleaned the jars. I've dunked the lids and the rubber rings in hot water. I've got my potatoes in the jar now. So again, not a canning video. I'm not going to go over the potatoes, but let's get these lids on. We'll get them on as HarvestGuard recommends doing it. And then stay tuned because there's more later that I find a little bit different after the jars come out of the canner. So make sure you stay tuned for that as well. Again, we're going to go about this just as HarvestGuard recommends. We are going to take the rubber ring, put it on here, set it on there, and we are going to tighten this down one finger tight. Or, hold it with the finger, and that's it. That's all HarvestGuard recommends. I kind of want to do one. HarvestGuard's video, they show ones that are over tightened and exactly what happens. I kind of want to do that to one of these, and we'll have potatoes tomorrow night for dinner. Oh, see, I almost messed up on that one. With that all done, we're going to go put these beauties in the canner. We're going to do a normal canning stuff for the potatoes, And once they are done, I will show you guys what Harvest Guard says we need to do next that is a lot different than when you're using the regular metal lids. Stand by. Video magic, about 2 seconds. We got the jars out. They're cooling. They've been out for about 2 minutes now. In fact, this one right here is still bubbling away, so is this one. But according to Harvest Guard's instructions, which they sent with the lids and the rubber rings, if I didn't mention that before, we're gonna let these cool for 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're gonna tighten those metal bands. Now, visually looking at all these, I don't see any, wow. I might see a domed one here and here. That really surprises me because I didn't think I had tightened them that much. So we will have to see if they seal. They look domed to me. I'm very surprised. Let's tighten these bands down. Now we are not super cranking on these. We are, we want to tighten it down so that there's enough pressure on that rubber gasket, on that rubber ring in the lid. So there's enough pressure there that when it starts cooling, it'll be able to suck it down without a problem. So that was, I don't know, that wasn't even a quarter turn. We'll see if I do this right. I am not like really cranking down on these. Oh, and I forgot to mention it has been about 10 minutes. I'm actually going to move this one. Okay, we'll see if I did that correctly. I moved that one because I want to move this one over to here. And I'll put this one back here. The reason being, these two have the dome tops. Their instructions state not, or at least Harvest Guard's video, which I will share up here. If it's domed, you don't want to try to tighten this because there's built up pressure in there. So what I might do is try to keep an eye on this, and I can feel that it's domed compared to this one. So that's a bummer. I wonder which two jars those were that I tightened like that. I think if you went back and you looked at me tightening all the jars, which I've included all the video, I bet you could probably figure out which ones it was. I am going to try to keep an eye on that for a little while and see if it starts coming down and then tighten the ring. Just to see. But everything I understand, these are not going to seal. All right, so our next step is the Harvest Guard says to lay a dry towel over your jars while they're cooling. All right, check this out. That one went down. The jars are still super hot. So I went ahead and tightened it since it went down. This one is not down. You can still see a dome. All right, let's see how these came out. So, take the lid off, and then the test is to pull it up by this. We got a seal with these new lids. That's awesome. I should add, this is the next day. These jars have had plenty of time to cool off. I just need to wipe them down. And the way I'm testing these seals is how Harvest Guard says to test them. Now these two are the two that were bad. This one, so I went against what Harvest Guard says to do. Kind of made up my own thing. When this one cooled enough, the jar was still really hot, but when this one cooled enough, it lost the dome here. So I went ahead and tightened it down. So let's look at this one first. See how that seal is. I am so happy that that sealed. That's awesome. All right. This one is still domed, but it's kind of weird. It had fallen much later than this one, but it had fallen. I could have sworn, or maybe I was wrong. So I went ahead and tightened it down, but it doesn't look like it's sealed. Let's see. Nope, no seal there. Hey, Jenny.
What?
Looks like we're having potatoes for dinner tonight.
Okay.
So that's how that works. We'll have potatoes for dinner tonight. We'll get those into the fridge. I am actually super happy that I got to show you a failed seal. I had thought about intentionally doing that in the video, but I didn't want to. And so you saw that I screwed up. Hopefully I have my plan is to show you guys the whole section of me tightening the bands down. And I think what you'll see is there was some that I tightened the band down before I even put a finger on it. So that might have been the demise or the problem with these two jars. I'm so glad that the one jar did seal that I thought I had a problem with. I'm a little bit worried, and I'm probably going to contact Harvest Guard to see. But this one, if you can see, this came off that jar. I don't know if you can see that. It is still bowed. So I'm wondering if this lid is now no good, as a normal one is not, even to start with. So be interesting to see. I'd say a little learning curve, but overall, I'm happy with this. I just need to pay attention to how well I'm tightening them down. I think overall we'll keep using these. I have no problem using these. We have a ton of them. So after a small learning curve here and needing to pay attention to tightening those bands down, I think this is no problem. I'll keep using them. So, all right, I'm going to get these put away in the pantry. And, well, the one jar is going in the fridge. But thanks for watching. Hope you found it useful. And I hope to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks.